Well, welcome back to the channel. So this is part of my videos looking at the epic battles, and this is stage painting Cuirassiers. And as you can see, I have some 28mm Cuirassiers and some of the epic battle ones which I've finished. Cuirassiers were the primary French heavy cavalry. They were called Cuirassiers because they still wore a cuirass, which is the metal breastplate that the models are wearing, and that's differentiates them from, say, dragoons or the carbineers, which will be covered in a different video. So these are my 28mm ones, Perry miniatures, and these are the epic battles Waterloo ones which I've finished. Now I'm going to take you through stages of how I've gone about painting the Cuirassiers for epic battles. Now actually these fellas exemplify a good point about uniform. So if I was being accurate, all the harnesses would be black, just like I've done on these guys. For years I've painted all my harnesses white because I did a lot of armies in 6mm, and that showed off the harnesses on the cavalry better. And it's just a habit I got into. Kind of knew it was black, but kept doing it white. For epic battles, I've actually gone over to paint it all black, and this is to help speed up the process. I find just one coat of black Templar over it does the trick. Now, with these epic battle models, I've used a combination of contrast paints and regular paints, and it's actually a pretty similar methodology to these, how I paint most of my wargaming armies. I would consider myself a decent army painter. I'm not one of the great painters out there. Individual models, they're all right, they're good for the tabletop. And my methods for getting armies done quickly is I'll put down all my base coats, I'll probably use Agrax Earthshade to shade it all, then I'll pick out some key colours. And I'm going to take you through that now with the Cuirassiers. Certainly that's how I painted these, the 28mm ones. So if you just bear with till I pull out our first one. So I undercoated the model's Cuirassier, and I did a bit of a dry brush over top of the Cuirassier with Wraithbone. In stage one, I've put down snakebite leather over the horse, and that is a contrast paint. And I've used Iron Hand Steel, which is a base coat, on the helmet, sword, and the cuirass. Dead simple. I've not been worried about it getting neat. I've gone over all the horse harness bits because I haven't done any other colours yet. See if I can zoom in a bit. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So the next stage, here we are. So I've used ultramarine blue, and I've just started picking out the uniform, the sleeves. And again, you know, it's rough and ready. It's not the neatest, but it's okay because I've not painted over the other stuff yet. Started doing the saddle detail. I've also left, if you'll notice, this would all be one big thick piece. So I wanted that to stand out, make it look like saddle. So I'll put some blue over in between the reins there as well. And that is Ultramarine's blue contrast paint. Quite like working with contrast paints at this stage. Like I say, it's pre-mixed. I find it flows really nicely. So for my next stage, I've used that black. So black Templar, just painted straight over all the harness. See black Templar on the horsehair plumes coming down. Black Templar on the boots. I've also used Mephiston red to start picking out epaulets, round underneath the shoulders, and a bit up the back of the, what would be the jacket there. Again on the other side, I've also painted the sword scabbard black Templar. So moving on to the next stage, where I'll finally finish off all my base coat work. You will notice on some of the horses I've used wildwood, which is a darker brown. On other horses I've used snakebite, which is a lighter brown. So what we're seeing now is I've added some bits of gold to the sword hilt, to this part of the helmet, round the sort of banding on the scabbards. I've also took pallid witch flesh and take it around the edge of this saddle. This bit here I've done with racar flesh, to give it a bit more of a woolen feel. The trousers I've done dawn stone. So looking at research, their dress uniforms are probably white breeches or some description of white. Their campaign overalls probably were grey, but I haven't got 100% verification on that. So that's that side. And you can see where I've painted the straps that go around the body. That's Pallid Witch Flesh. I've done Steel Legion Drab, and this is Rust Grey for this kit on the back of the saddle. Bit of silver on the stirrup as well. And looking at his face on there. Okay, so now comes the bit Agrax shade, and I've just put it over everything. And what that starts to do is starts giving us shade on the model. It also ties the colours together. I find it really useful, and it gives me a springboard so I can start picking out highlight colours again. So this is the officer model. So start picking out highlighting again. So what I've done, some Evilson Scarlet on the red. I've actually done a bit of Macragge blue over the blue bits, obviously. A touch of the Retributor gold back on. I've used a brighter silver, Runefang steel on the metal. Dawnstone again on the trousers. I see Macragge blue on the blue bits. And you see when you're working with this highlighting, you're going to leave, so I've done a bit of Pallid Witch Flesh there, Pallid Witch Flesh there, but left the shaded bit in the middle to help give that definition on the gloves. And I'll do that everywhere I'm kind of highlighting, so you'll see where I've done the Dawnstone, I'll have painted it here, but left the shade in the recesses there. Let's have a look at this guy from the other side. This is the officer figure. So again, you can start seeing even around here, like when my Macragge blue's going on, it's going on there, and it's going on here, and it's going on there. So I'm leaving the shadow in the recesses. Go back a bit, get a bit more focus. You see around here where there's the darker red and the brighter red. When I'm painting the sword, going up the way and down the way, and again trying to leave some shadow on it and give it that depth. And then the last bit is to paint the face as Wraithbone, and then I'll pop a bit of Guilliman flesh on it. So these guys is what I would consider finished. The other thing you'll find is I tend to batch paint, so I've done all these 8 figures together. They would be following the normal stages. I might actually, looking at these, just go back and put a bit of black over the moustache. But there we have it. Simple, nice, quick and easy Cuirassiers. I really enjoyed painting these guys actually. But then again, I really enjoy painting Cuirassiers. That's why I've got 3 regiments of them for 28mm. Oh. So you go. If you've got any further questions, I will put a paint list up in the description for the video. But yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to fire them away. I hope you're having a great time wargaming. Look. Best laid plans like mice and men. Look forward to chatting to you again with some other videos. For the French, I'll be doing one for the Carbineers and the Heavy Dragoons. Yes, the Dragoons. For the British, there'll be the Scots Greys and the Household Cavalry. And the Household Cavalry will also focus a bit on the Dragoon Guards as well, in anticipation for the main release coming up. But anyway, like I say, I hope you're having a great time wargaming. Any questions, give us a shout, and I'll chat to you again. Goodbye for now.